Hare Krishna. So Krishna has spoken his very inconceivable relationship with the material world. So where in the previous two shlokas, he made it very clear that everything rests on me, at the same time it does not. So basically we understood that as a person, Krishna, he is not personally involved in the creation, maintenance and annihilation of this world, but his energies are doing it. And the energy and energetic are non-different. So it's almost like Krishna is doing it. So this is the simultaneous oneness and difference that we discussed in the last two shlokas, shloka number 4 and 5. Now to understand this complicated subject matter, Krishna is giving a very simple analogy in shloka number 6. So let's see that now. Yatha stito nityam Vayuh sarvatra gomahan Tatha sarvani bhutani Matsthanityopadharaya. So here Krishna is saying that Mahan Vayuhu sarvatra go. So the mighty wind is blowing everywhere. Yatha akasha stito nityam, and it rests always, nityam. It always rests in the sky, akasha. Similarly, tatha sarvani bhutani, all created beings, mat sthani iti upadharaya, rest in me. So here it is said that like the wind, the mighty wind is blowing everywhere but always rests in the sky. Similarly, all the created beings rest in me. So again, this analogy is there, but then we need more explanation to understand this analogy and understand how everything is resting in Krishna and at the same time not. So let's try to understand from Bhaktivedanta purports. For the ordinary person, it is almost inconceivable how the huge material creation is resting in him. But the Lord is giving an example which may help us to understand. Now for a common man, it's very difficult to understand. Huge creation this is. Entire cosmic manifestation. We are just in one universe. Like that there are so many universes with so many planets and so many living beings. Now to understand also or to conceive that all this is there in Krishna is very difficult. It's almost inconceivable. We cannot understand. We will be baffled if we start imagining all that. So here a nice analogy is given about the wind and sky. The sky may be the biggest manifestation we can conceive, and in that sky, the wind or air is the biggest manifestation in the cosmic world. The movement of the air influences the movements of everything, but although the wind is great, it is still situated within the sky. The wind is not beyond the sky. A very nice description. So we understand the sky is huge. We cannot find where it starts and where it ends. And in this sky, the air or wind is situated. It keeps blowing and it moves so many things in this world. But then one nice thing is there to understand that it will never exceed the sky. It will always remain within the sky. Both are huge. The sky is huge, the wind is huge, but then the wind always remains in the sky, in the jurisdiction of the sky. So this makes it very clear that Krishna is huge, he is infinite. His material world is also infinite. His material creation is also infinite, but still all the time the material creation is within Krishna, like the wind is always within the sky. So here again it is very nicely explained that similarly all the wonderful cosmic manifestations are existing by the supreme will of God, and all of them are subordinate to that supreme will. As we generally say, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus everything is moving under His will. Everything is created, maintained and annihilated. Still He is aloof from everything, as the sky is always aloof from the activities of the wind. So basically the point here is that this entire cosmic manifestation is existing just by the will of the Lord. Just by His will. Everything is existing. Creation, maintenance, annihilation, everything happens just by His will. So we can make it, so it makes it very clear to understand that everything is under perfect control of Krishna. Krishna himself says, Maya dhakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetu nanena kauntaya jagad viparivartate. He says that this entire jagat, this entire universe, this entire creation is Maya dhakshena, under my supervision, under my control. So everything in this world is under the control, perfect control of Krishna. There's a nice shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto which says, Madbhayat vati vatoyam suryastapati madbhayat varshatindro dahadagnir mrityuscharati madbhayat. So here Krishna is saying that everything is under my perfect control and all of them work because of fear of me. And he gives the example. He says, Madbhayat, because of my fear of me, the wind is blowing. And then he says, Surya Stapati Madbhayat. The sun is giving scorching heat, or it is burning. Why? Because of my fear. Varshat Indra, Indra is showering rains. Why? Because of me. Dhad Agnir, the fire is burning. Why? Because of me. And then he says, Mrityuscharati Madbhayat. Why are people dying? How come Yamaraj is doing his work? Because of my fear, O Arjuna, because of my fear. Everything in this world is under my control and everything is moving under my fear. So it makes it very clear to understand that nothing in this world can just cross Krishna's attention. Nothing in this world. Suppose Krishna, we can say that, oh, maybe at this time Krishna was inattentive and this particular thing happened. No. Everything is under perfect control of Krishna. A very nice shloka from Brahma Samhita. Now it says, Yakchak Shuresha Savita Sakala Grahana Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Tejaha Yasyagnaya Brahmati Sambrita Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So this particular shloka, it says that Yakchak Shuresha Savita Sakala Grahanam, sun is one of the eyes of Krishna. And it is the king of so many planets which exist. So here it is said, Ashesha Tejaha, it diffuses immense heat and light. So it is said here that it is one of the eyes of the Supreme Lord and it has the immense potency to diffuse heat and light. It is so great. Now you can just imagine, sun is so great. If someone goes too close to the sun, that person will get burnt and dead completely. His body will also not be found. But then, still, such a sun is moving in its orbit, prescribed orbit by the order and supreme will of Govinda. Can we imagine this? Sun, which is so great, such a great planet, is doing its job because it has been ordered by Krishna. So now we can understand how this entire cosmic manifestation is under the control of Krishna. Not even a blade of grass moves without the sanction of Krishna. So from the Vedic literature, we can find evidence that this material manifestation, which appears to us to be very wonderful and great, is under the complete control of Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can we translate this shloka to our life? Now sometimes, in our life, so many things keep happening. And many of the times, the things are out of control. And the person does not understand only what to do. And there are so many thoughts, those are getting bombarded. And the person is thinking how to solve this problem. I'm not able to solve this problem. It's out of my control. And many of the times, people go low in their life. In fact, they get into depression at times. So this particular shloka is a hope-giving shloka, which says that everything is under perfect control of Krishna. Maybe things might not be under our control. Because we are Baddhaji or we are Chutkus, we are very, very small. How can we control anything? As I always say, we cannot control our nature's call also. As soon as we get a call from the nature, we run. We run to the bathroom, we run to the washroom. So, many things in this world is not under our control. And the problem is we try controlling it and then we fail and then we are depressed. So anything that happens in our life, anything, be it good or be it bad, especially when it's bad, when it is very, very critical, we are not able to do anything. One thing we have to understand is, It might not be under my control, but it is under perfect control of Krishna. Without sanction of Krishna, nothing is going to happen in my life. And Krishna is my eternal well-wishing friend. He will never, never, ever think of doing anything incorrect in my life, anything bad in my life. A well-wishing friend, why will he create a situation where I should go crazy? But then anything that is happening in my life is under perfect control of Krishna. Krishna knows what is he doing in my life, so that he trains me very nicely to attain perfection, go back home, back to Godhead. So seemingly it might be like, oh, it's like very critical situation. But then Krishna is holding us very nicely and he's taking us through that situation so that we become eligible enough, we become strong enough to withstand such situations and remember him and go back home, back to Godhead. So in critical situation, instead of saying, oh Krishna, why are you doing this to me? We should find out actually why Krishna is putting us in that situation. And the answer is only one, so that we can intensely remember him. So whenever we are in critical situation, whatever we are going through, we should intensely remember Krishna and intensely chant his holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. As I always say, every crisis in our life is an opportunity to get closer to Krishna. So in this way, we understand that how Krishna very, very mercifully is personally coming and acting in our life. He's creating different situations and taking us through those situations, almost like a mother carrying the baby in her arms and traveling from one place to another. Right from our birth, Krishna is carrying us in his arms. Not just birth, from many, many lifetimes he's carrying us. And he'll continue doing that. Only thing that is needed is we living entities who have rejected Krishna should turn back to Krishna now and aspire intensely, hanker intensely to go back to him and serve him. So this is such a hope-giving shloka, isn't it? When we understand how Krishna is working in this world, how everything is working in this world under Krishna's supervision, it gives a lot of hope and it gives a lot of dependence on Krishna. This is how Bhagavad Gita is a solution to all the problems. And one such thing we have seen just now. So in this way, Krishna has given a very, very nice analogy that the wind is always in the sky, and it's similar to what? Everything in this world that exists is under the jurisdiction of Krishna. Nothing in this world can happen without notice of Krishna. This is what is the point that is made here. Now, after having said this, Krishna is going to talk about how this various things which are happening in this material world are actually taking place. Especially when it comes to the millenniums which are there, especially when it comes to the material manifestations which are there. How are they getting created? And how are they getting annihilated? What happens to the living entities? So all this Krishna will be speaking in the future verses. So let's see that in the next video. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.